Wednesday, September 1st, 2021, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So today, silver's saying the reports of my death are greatly exaggerated. Of course, that was a quote by Mark Twain or Samuel Clemens back in the late 1800s. There's a newspaper report or a reporter from a newspaper that apparently contacted Mark Twain and just to see if he was okay because he'd heard he died. And that's what he said. The reports of my death are greatly exaggerated. And that's the same thing going on for silver. Silver, in my opinion, is one of the most hated metals or assets out there. It's one of the most unloved metals and assets as well. I remember a few years ago, I think it was 2017, a major silver proponent online, I think his name was Andy Hoffman, gave up on silver and went over into cryptocurrencies. Yesterday, what made me think about Mark Twain's quote was this headline here from Kitco. It's a video, of course. It says, "Silver unlikely to track gold again, may never go back as money." Here's why. Lobo Tigre. So he's a mixture of a wolf and a tiger, this guy. I haven't listened to the video, and I probably will, but those kinds of headlines, especially coming from Kitco, who are supposed to sell gold and silver, is, in my opinion, fairly significant. It could be pointing to a major bottom in silver, and I don't even think we've made a huge bottom in silver, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. If you look at the longer term charts. So yes, silver has been money, and I think will be money for as long as humans are relatively free. Even when humans aren't free for the last 5,000 years, what we have had since the late 60s, early 70s, when nations stopped using silver as money, is an aberration, I would say. Gold has been subject to this kind of thinking as well, that gold was dead, that gold wasn't money anymore, and it keeps coming back. Back in the 70s, there were reports about Milton Friedman saying that gold would go to zero, almost to its the level where it costs to mine it, because Nixon closed the gold window and gold was not important anymore for the monetary system. Yes, gold and silver are not officially in the monetary system, and I agree with that, but in the human psyche, gold and silver are money, especially silver. In languages like French, argent means money. Plata in Spanish means money. Plata is, of course, the word for silver. Even the currency of this country, the UK, sterling, British pound or pound sterling. Sterling is a standard for silver, a 925. The dollar, the US dollar, where does the name dollar come from? Well, it comes from a taler or a Spanish dollar as well. Spanish dollar, of course, and I'll show you here, the Spanish dollar comes also from, is a derivation of a taler, which was a very popular coin in Europe from the 1600s, maybe a little earlier, all the way to the 1800s. And there's a taler, Maria Teresa taler. There you go. There's the coin. So he could be right. Maybe silver will never go back as money, but I would be careful saying things like never. I think the movement, silver movement, isn't dead yet. It's just gone a little bit into hibernation. The Wall Street silver movement, the Wall Street Reddit movement. I recommend people join those pages, those groups, Wall Street Silver. Look at Wall Street Silver YouTube channel as well. I remember being on with the silver panel back in early February when silver was trying to break out. There was a lot of enthusiasm and I was positive but cautious. I said, this is not going to happen overnight. And lo and behold, that's what's happened. And the powers that be right now, they're controlling the price of silver. Of course, when you see the price of silver not moving, the spot price or the paper price like that, like it is, it detracts attention. People don't want to look at it. It's only the people who know what silver really is, only the people who know how still tough and fairly expensive real silver coins are that are gonna hold on. And the public, of course, right now is not interested because there's a lot of other things that are doing well. The stock market, cryptocurrencies, even gold to some extent is outperforming silver. So yes, but I'm holding on to my silver. I'm adding on as much as I can to my physical stack. I think a lot of people like this gentleman, the wolf tiger or lobo tigre, are going to be proven wrong. It's not to say that silver isn't a hybrid, that silver won't be necessary in industry, because it has always been. And before I go and look at the markets this morning to see where we are, I want to recommend another book, which I've recommended before. It's a relatively new book, though. It's called The Story of Silver: How the White Metal Shaped America and the Modern World, by William Silber. Silber, of course, is silver in Germany. The author is actually quite a mainstream individual. He used to be a professor of economics at NYU. He advised the New York Fed, economic advisor to the New York Fed. I think he's retired now. I heard about this book on interview on Coin Week YouTube channel. I recommend that YouTube channel for those of you who like numismatics as well as bullion. And the interesting thing that he says here at the end of the book is this, and I quote, "Central bankers remain on trial, and the uncertain verdict sustains the ancient role of gold and silver as storehouses of value in the new millennium." So, yes, I think it's encouraging. I think all the bashing, to some extent, I don't think he's bashing silver in particular, this guy. He's not saying it's not going to do well, but I think it's a good contrarian indicator. And yes, sentiment right now is quite low. We're seeing recently as well gold do well, and silver can't even get back above 24. But I just wanted to show you this chart of silver. It's a logarithmic chart going back to the early 70s. And the thing that comes to my mind when I look at this chart is the teacup formation. And what does a teacup formation indicate? There's a few interpretations. Some people think it shows that the market has been manipulated at a certain level, that the market is trying to protect a certain level, and that seems to be 50, because you can see silver went up to 50 back in 1980, it went up to 50 in 2011, and we formed a huge multi-generational teacup formation. And usually the way these teacups evolve is that you form a handle on the right hand side which we've been forming for almost 10 years. A 10-year handle is a long time, because I've seen teacups that are a lot shorter in terms of time frame. But this one, don't forget, this is like a 50-year teacup. This is, in my opinion, the powers that be fighting for their trash fiat currency, the imposter dollar, because what we have today that we use as the major reserve currency, it's not really a dollar. It's also my opinion that the central bankers, the people who run the current non-monetary system, as I would call it, like John Exter, who was a central banker, called it, you have to understand, since 1971, we don't use money anymore. We don't. We use fake currency backed by nothing. And I think the powers that be, they're concerned about silver. And that's why we've got this teacup. I think we're going to blow through that teacup. I can't tell you the date, but I'm holding on to my silver. There's very little downside to holding on to silver. I started stacking silver back in 2003 when silver was around $5 to $7. I'm not concerned. The downside is so limited, but I would say the upside is in the hundreds of dollars. Looking at this teacup, usually a teacup evolves where you break the top of the teacup and you go up as much as the depth of the teacup. And this is in percentage, so you need to do the percentages. Let's say you take $5 times 10, that takes you to 50. So we could see a huge move up when we break 50 in silver. It could be many times 50. That's what I'm trying to say here. So with that, let's quickly look at where the markets are this morning. It's 8:41 a.m. London time. We've got spot gold, 18.12.20. It's down just over a dollar. Range has been 18.10 to 18.17. I think the key level on the upside is 18.30, 18.32. Recently, that's been a major top. I think if we able to break through there, we could see the markets accelerate higher. So now let's look at silver. And before we look at where silver is, just wanted to show you that chart again. Does this look bearish? I don't think so. Yes, it's been frustrating, this consolidation between 30, let's say, and 22 for the last, well, it's been over a year now. But I think it still looks very bullish. We're just forming that right-hand handle, and it may take more time, or we could be very near the time where silver actually breaks through 30. It doesn't feel like we could do that right now because silver can't even get back above 24 at the moment. We're down 8 cents right now. It's at 23.80. The low's been 23.73 and the high 23.95. And as I've said, though, patience is the key. And maybe for those who trade silver as paper, as speculation, yeah, they're frustrated because they're not making their profits. Other things are moving. But this is more than just trading. It's about having real money in your possession, having insurance. It's, as Lynette Zhang says, barterability as well. So what about the stock market? Yeah, the stock market continued to go higher. Nothing new here. That's what the powers that be want. And I think it's also a reflection of the fact that the dollar is going downhill. We've got the Dow up 146, Dow future, NASDAQ up 47, and the S&P is up 18. FTSE is up 60 at 71.68. The currencies are pretty much unchanged here, sterling and the euro at least. They're at 137.54 and 118 respectively. The dollar is up 1/3% versus the yen at 110.40. Dollar is up slightly versus the yuan at 645.87. And Aussie dollar up a third versus the dollar at 73.41. The dollar is down 0.2 versus the Canadian dollar at 125.94. And the Kiwi dollar is up 0.2% at 70.58. High-grade copper is down 1.5% at 430. WTI crude is up 1% at 69 exactly. The high's been 69.14. And before I finish, just a quick look at the 10-year yield, 10-year treasury yield. That's up 2.5 basis points, just below 1.33%. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet. And if you do, make sure you hit that little notification bell. I make videos every day, sometimes even more than once. And you can also follow me on Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, and all these other platforms below here. I wish you all a great day. Take care. Bye.